The glamorous life of Savannah Delongpre, a dazzling runway model whose career continues to flourish. While she captivates the audience with her stunning looks and magnetic presence, it seems that Savannah has it all: a flourishing career, a luxurious lifestyle, and a charming boyfriend, Robert Lee. However, in the unfolding of the story, we discovered the darker side of his seemingly perfect life. Robert, a well-known womanizer, finds it difficult to commit to Savannah because he is always pursuing other women. Savannah is forced to face the truth about her romantic life as she balances the demands of the fashion industry with her turbulent relationship. As Savannah works tirelessly, she remains blissfully unaware of Robert's womanizing ways. Their relationship was put to the ultimate test when Savannah unexpectedly caught Robert kissing another woman at a high-profile event known as the Passion Show. This scene is the reason for her painful decision to finally break up with Robert and take a break from her job. To find peace, Savannah decided to leave the tumultuous life in the city and return to her hometown in Georgia. There, she hoped to reconnect with her beloved grandmother, Belle, who had always been a source of unconditional love and wisdom in her life. Savannah stopped by the store to pick up the surprise gift she ordered for her Grandma Belle's upcoming birthday. When Savannah arrived at the house where she grew up, her Grandma Belle was already waiting at the door. As she entered the house, memories of her childhood flooded back, especially when she saw the picture of herself and her mother. Her Nana Ruth, who took care of her, was also happily waiting for her. Savannah rushed to her room and, overwhelmed with joy, jumped on her bed. When Nana Ruth returned with Savannah's favorite orange, the two happily chatted. That evening, before dinner, Savannah stopped by the basement of the house, where her mother's old belongings were hidden, photos that she happily revisited. At the dining table, Belle asked about Savannah's relationship with Robert. When she learned that the two had broken up, she scolded her granddaughter. And then, Belle mentioned the sale of the 2 Moon Junction property, which surprised Savannah. This property has caused a lot of trouble, that's Belle's brief explanation. For Savannah, the 2 Moon Junction property is important to her, lots of good and sad memories. At the basement, where old videos with her mother are kept, she felt an unusual happiness every time she watched them. Meanwhile, for Belle, it was a nightmare after Savannah's mother drowned there. The next day after playing tennis, Belle stopped Savannah from going to the river because she was afraid the same thing would happen again as when Savannah's mother drowned. However, Savannah didn't listen to her because she knew it was an accident. When she arrived at the river, Savannah immediately boarded the boat and paddled towards the 2 Moon Junction. It was dark when Savannah arrived at 2 Moon Junction. He turned off the light to better appreciate the moonlight when he heard a noise in the distance. She saw a man, muscular and well-built. He was Jake, an artist, and the grandson of the Gilberts, a family that had a long-standing feud with Savannah's family. Nevertheless, Savannah seemed to feel something unusual the first time she saw Jake. In the morning, Belle advised Savannah because her clothes were scattered all over her room. Shortly after, Henry, a property broker, arrived for Savannah to attend a charity event, which seemed to annoy her. There Henry mentioned to Savannah that banks would trust her more, and she could easily buy the 2 Moon Junction property if she wanted. The next day, Savannah personally decided to return to 2 Moon Junction. When she arrived, she was still very fond in returning to this place. As she stood in front of the door, Jake suddenly jumped in front of her. Jake said he was renting and preparing to buy the property, but Savannah curtly replied that she would be the one buying it and ordered him to remove the clutter from the place. Jake just stared at her. But that night, it seemed that Savannah couldn't get the young man Jake out of her mind, and because of that, Savannah began to fantasize about Jake's body, as if the young woman wanted to possess the young man, aside from the property they were fighting over. Savannah went to the bank early, but when she arrived, Jake was already leaving. The young man mentioned how long his family had wanted to reclaim the property. Savannah felt Jake's intense desire, so she delved into the roots of the disputed land. Savannah directly asked her grandmother Belle, and because the Delongpre family had money, they won the case. This is what she discovered. When night fell, Savannah returned to 2 Moon Junction. As soon as she entered, she was immediately met by an angry young man. However, when Savannah apologized for the actions of the Delongpre family, Jake's anger suddenly dissipated. As he gazed at the young woman, his anger was replaced by admiration for Savannah's beauty. Because of this, Jake slowly brought his lips closer to Savannah's and she fully accepted it, seemingly signaling the end of the feud between their families. In those moments, Savannah fantasy turned into reality, a passionate scene of 2 lovers eager for each other. As they explored the depths of their feelings, the night became a sensual journey of rediscovery, culminating in an unforgettable night of love that would change their relationship forever. It was already late at night when Savannah came home, and waiting at the house was Roni, Robert's secretary at the fashion agency. Savannah didn't expect Roni's arrival, but she was pleased because Roni was a close friend and colleague. The next day, Grandma Belle seems to have a deep secret that she can't reveal to Savannah, which is why the old woman is enveloped in sadness. Meanwhile, Savannah brought Roni to introduce him to Jake, because Roni has extensive connections in the market in New York and thought it would greatly help Jake. However, Jake didn't like it because he wanted to stay in this place. There was a temporary misunderstanding, so Savannah just invited Jake to her Grandma Belle's birthday. It's a day of celebration for Belle's birthday, with many guests, including Robert, whom Belle invited. Savannah was greatly puzzled by his arrival, while the two were talking to end their relationship. Jake arrived and saw Savannah and Robert together. Doubt filled Jake's heart, and his suspicion intensified when Roni, seemingly teasing, approached him. Belle also approached and directly said that the Gilberts had no place in this house. This made Jake even more upset, and he quickly left the house. Ruth witnessed the incident. In the midst of the celebration, Savannah went to the door to wait for Jake, who had left earlier while she was talking to Robert. It was already evening when Ruth said that Jake had seen their conversation, which is why he left. After learning this, Savannah hurriedly headed to Moon Junction. Savannah was desperately trying to explain, but Jake seemed to have already closed his mind after witnessing their conversation with Robert. Savannah left crying, and she was caught in a heavy rain. Jake couldn't bear to let the girl go either, so he followed Savannah. Like children, the two lovers splashed in the rain. Not minding the cold of the rain because the following events were hot scenes of the two lovers, proving their love for each other. When morning came, the sweet glances between Jake and Savannah continued. The unusual happiness of Savannah is more noticeable when she is with Jake. It seems beautiful if the two end up together, as long as there are no obstacles to their love. Meanwhile, Robert visited Henry in his office. Immense trust in Savannah, he had already shown her his beautiful plan for Two Moon Junction, so while Jake and Savannah seemed to be experiencing endless joy at that moment, due to Jake's was saving up well for this property. The two were together all night, and in the midst of their happiness, Savannah revealed to Jake her resentment towards her grandmother, whose strictness led to her mother's death. When morning came, Savannah mentioned her upcoming return to New York, as she was leaving Robert's agency and there was a fashion show scheduled. Jake seemed unwilling to let the girl go any further, which became the cause of their misunderstanding. Savannah stopped by the house briefly to change, and then headed straight to Henry to tell him that she wouldn't buy the property to make way for Jake. Savannah was surprised to find out that Robert bought it, with the help of his grandmother, Belle. Roni came to Jake informing that the property is bought by Robert as a gift to Savannah's wedding. Jake got angry and immediately rushed to Savannah's house, where he confronted Robert and said that the true love of Savannah was him. Belle witnessed how deep Jake's love for Savannah. When Jake left, Savannah arrived at their house. Savannah found Robert, and there she finally ended their relationship and resigned from Robert's agency. Savannah also rejected Robert's marriage proposal. Belle witnessed this. Then Savannah confronted her grandmother, Belle, and they had heated argument. Because of this, Savannah hastened her packing, not informing her grandmother, who was looking out the window. When she left, she went straight to Two Moon Junction, but there was no Jake there. It was clean and there were no belongings left. In the house, Belle also felt heavy about the misunderstanding with her granddaughter Savannah. At the grave of her deceased mother, Savannah went straight there, followed by her grandmother Belle. Here, Belle revealed that there was a love that blossomed between Jake's grandfather and Belle, which became the root of the misunderstanding between the family. Savannah began to understand the reasons behind her grandmother's actions. This moment of clarity paves the way for reconciliation, as the grandmother and granddaughter strive to bridge their differences, ultimately finding common ground and strengthening a new bond built on understanding and love. The next day, Savannah was all set to return to New York. She gazed at Jake's picture, whom she still hadn't spoken to, and didn't know where he was. After saying goodbye to her grandmother, Savannah took a taxi to the train station. While waiting for the train, Savannah noticed a man who looked like Jake in the distance. So Savannah seemed to be lifted from her sadness, but as he got closer, it turned out to be a different man. She returned to her seat and frowned again. Savannah just remembered the beautiful days of their time together with Jake to dispel the sadness. The approaching train honked loudly. Inside is a lonely Savannah awaiting someone as the train started to move. Jake ran after it, loudly shouting Savannah's name, as Savannah clearly heard Jake's voice and immediately went to the train door. The two immediately embraced with joy. After the train passes, Grandma Belle waves. Her effort convinced Jake to go after Savannah. This scene covers themes of love, reconciliation, and the courage to pursue new beginnings, setting the stage for Savannah and Jake's adventure in the bustling city. Please subscribe to my channel, ABS Movie Recap, to get the latest uploaded video, and please leave your comment and don't forget to press the like and share button as support to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you on my next video. Bye for now.